So, what exactly happened when a true feminine starts to wake up, or when she starts to come into balance? She starts to come into, she starts to integrate the masculine. So, first, what is a feminine? So, what is a true feminine? So, feminine is basically an energy, right? So irrespective of your gender, there are many males who are in the feminine energy more. Everyone has, a balance of masculine feminine energies. Everyone is somewhere in imbalance of masculine and feminine energies, right? So somebody who's, you know we all have both the energies. Somebody who's little more feminine in nature, we would say that that is a feminine energy. Okay, it doesn't mean that it doesn't has its masculine energy. It just means that she is more inclined to be a feminine energy, or he is more inclined to be a feminine energy. So what really happens when a feminine starts to get into the stability, or when she starts to get into the balance, when she goes through an spiritual awakening? Okay, what happens then? So the when she starts to wake up, the very first thing that happens is that the connections around her, they start to go through a tower moment. They start to go through chaos. They start to go through storm. Okay, and that's exactly what's happening right now on the planet. The feminine is starting to come into balance, starting to integrate masculine. And when that happens, people around her, or the connections around her, slowly and gradually, they all go through a chaos. They all go through a storm. And for the first time, they really open their eyes, and they really see at the goddess. They really see at the god that she is. They really see at the goddess he is. They really see at the god he is, you know. So, as I said, feminine energy can be in a, somebody who is in a male body, can be a feminine energy, who's more in a feminine energy, right? So it can happen. Okay. So so when what happens is, when all these people, all these connections around her, you know who when they really see her waking up, it's like they start to see their face for the first time. Like, it they start to see that they have misjudged this feminine energy for a long time. People around her, mostly are, you would find that, people around the feminine energies are mostly blinded by Maya is, they're blinded by fear, they're blinded by attachment, they are blinded by, all these are forms of ego. They are blinded by inferiority complexes. They're blinded by superiority complexes. Usually we'll find these kind of people around the feminine energy, a true feminine energy, because she is more of like, she's sweet. she is she's she's nature, basically. She's more giving in nature, right? She is, you know she would give, okay, without even thinking. That's how she is. And people in the ego, you know they see certain things very clearly. They see what's her weakness, because, until her, she hasn't integrated a masculine. She is going through a spiritual awakening. She hasn't completely integrated the masculine. Yes. So they see that she is, a little emotional, or, so people in the ego, they can see certain things very clearly. Why? Because, of course, it can be used for themselves. It can be used to prosper the ego more and more. People in the ego, they move their energies into the lower, into the ego, right? So they use more and more of her light, they use more and more of her emotions. How we all use nature blindly right now. That's exactly what's happening on the planet. That's exactly what's happening with the feminine energies, that is there in nature as well, and that's there in humans as well. So the planet, the planet has been in a really imbalanced feminine energy, and now she's starting to stabilize. She started to integrate the masculine. Masculine is more about de- learning detachment, learning exactly and precisely where the detachment comes, you know and if you see Hindu myths also, many a times you will see that Parvati, the wife of Shiva, so she represents the feminine energy, okay, and Shiva, he represents the masculine energy. The both are married, so basically they are one soul, and they're depicting the masculine and the feminine. All right, so the one person, and they're depicting the masculine and the feminine. So you would always find that Parvati is a little emotional, and what would happen is demons know her weakness. Demons know that she will be taken away by her emotions, by what she is. So what happens is that these demons, they really try to for example, she's going to fight a war, or let's say something. So like, I'm really picking up the real stories from Hindu myths and trying to tell you. So let's say she's going for a war, okay, she's going to kill a demon or something. So what would they do? The other, the companions of the demons and everything, what would they do? They would literally, put a helpless, human being on her way, okay, and try to distract her, okay, because, and of course, she comes into her emotions. She is nature, she's a giving energy, she's a feminine energy. So she would get distracted, you know uh, out there. And of course, I'm not saying that she shouldn't help or something like that, but I'm just trying to tell, I'm not trying to say that she shouldn't do that, right, what's in front of her. But I'm just trying to tell you that many a times it's not even needed, but she is distracted, you know through her emotions. She's distracted by her emotions. Her emotions are made use of, and that's why, you would have heard this phrase from like everyone till now. It's stupid to be kind. We live in a world where kindness nowadays is stupidity. It's foolish to be kind. These are the phrases you hear. Why? Because the feminine energy in all of us, in nature, overall, planet wise, it's really wounded, really imbalanced. So but now feminine energy is going through an awakening. She is coming into her power. And when I say energy, I don't mean people. When I say energy, I mean energy. You know, when you look at the globe, when you look at the earth, you may see humans. But when a spiritual person or person who has really awakened, when it looks at the globe, they see energies and they feel energies. And I cannot see human beings. I cannot see you and me as separate. I see energies playing out. All right. So I hope you get the whole point. So what happens when she when she starts, and for a whole amount of time, I thought that why God wouldn't come and save people, why God would let these demons play out, why would God let these victims play out, why would God let things happen. But now I really had these questions, and I really worked hard on my spiritual journey. I really try to find answers, and been, watching and looking everywhere, like, like an eagle's eye. I've been looking like, you know, at everything, at every movie, at every book, at every enlightened master that I read, or saw the video, or any book that I read, or any movie that I saw, or any experience that I had. I like opened my eyes, I opened all my senses, to really get to the answers. So I would always have this question: why would God let the timelines play out? Why would He never intervene? Now I know. Now I know why He wouldn't intervene. Because that's the plan. The plan is to, हिंदी में एक कहावत है, हिंदू मिथ्स में आप ये बहुत सुनोगे. So there's a saying, and the saying goes like, you know, जब तक पाप का घड़ा नहीं भरता है, तब तक पाप को होने दो. You will often hear God saying that, in some of the Hindu myths. So they let the demon play out, because God also needs devil. God also needs the demon, because it brings the feminine energies, the pure feminine energies, to a point where, where she starts to wake up, where she is left with no choice, but she has to wake up. Otherwise, her light, of course, will be used, by these dark, by the dark, or by the imbalanced energies, let's say, or by the toxic energies, let's say, whatever. So, my hand is paining. Ow. What? Okay. So, yeah, so they let it play out. Okay, they let God, Shiva, lets these things play out, because the dark pushes the feminine energies to wake up. I mean, of course, she gets tired one day, like she starts to see the truth one day, right? She starts to see the truth one day, and she needs this chaos. Feminine energy can only rise in the chaos. Maybe it's not important that she will only rise in the chaos, but most of the time, at least the Maya and the Matrix that we are into, feminine energy needs that chaos to rise up. Okay, she uses all that chaos, and very silently, in the shut doors, she works with that chaos. Okay, and she brings her gifts, spiritual gifts, online. Okay, you will start to see that, her spiritual gifts open up, right? She gets her spiritual powers back very silently, you know um behind those shut doors. It starts to happen to her, right? So yeah, so Shiva lets these demons play out, because he wants the feminine energy to rise up, to start her spiritual awakening. And of course, we need the demon to also come to a point in the timeline where he feels he's safe, where he thinks he's winning. And that's where, you know that's exactly the time, when God intervenes. So God intervenes exactly at the right time. Batman and Superman was completely foolish for intervening before. Shiva is so intelligent. I have to say that. I'm sorry. So yeah. So, and when she wakes up, when she learns detachment, when she starts to integrate the masculine, when she starts to awaken, and when she learns detachment, and when she sees the truth, that's exactly when, the when she starts to take her power back, she learns attachment. She does not come into the trap of her emotions anymore. That's exactly when the people who were sustaining of her light, you know will now go through a karma. She does not give her light anymore, you know, and then they go through the karma. And that's the hard truth. That's the bitter truth, you know. Yeah, that's why they say the truth is bitter. So, yeah, I so much wanted to do this video, you know. Thank you for watching the video.